Good afternoon and welcome to our second bonus training of this challenge. So in case you missed the first one, that happened yesterday afternoon and was all about how to use your group to grow your email list. Hey Elizabeth! And today I'm chatting to you about how to boost engagement. So really kind of the next step on from where you get to at the end of this challenge. So once you've started getting people into your group, what do you do what do you do to them? That sounds a bit wrong. What do you do with them? Yes. Hey Jackie, nice to see you. So what time are we on? I don't want to start right or to my tea. Those of you who are here already, let me know how you're finding the challenge. I would love to know how you're getting on, what's well, what hasn't worked so well. Give me feedback because I want to run this challenge again. So anything you have to tell me is super, super useful. Plus, it's always really gratifying if things work well and people are getting results. So that's always a no too. Okay, I think I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right. Let me know if not. So Facebook engagement. Let's talk first of all, why do we need engagement in our Facebook group? I mean, it's probably a silly question, but it's worth just covering. First of all, if you have a group with no engagement, it's kind of pointless having a group, and it's actually not as silly as it sounds, because it's very easy to get into that game of I need more people in my group, I need more people in my group, and you focus all your attention on growing your group. Meanwhile, the group itself is sat there gathering cobwebs and not actually doing anything, because all your attention is focused on growing it, and that is a surprisingly easy trap to fall into. So having some kind of focus on what goes on in your group is very important. Also, it's worth saying that the more engaged your group is, the more likely you are to get clients from it. Because if your members are coming in and engaging, and active members, and having conversations with you, having conversations with each other, then that's clearly a group that's buzzing. It's clearly a group that people are making an effort to come back to. It's clearly a group that people are going to remember, probably going to refer to other people, and you are much more likely as a group owner to have credibility, to have people's trust, to have people's to have that kind of likability. So it's all good. You need engagement in your group. Plus, just from an algorithm perspective, the more engagement your group content is getting, the more of your group members will see that content. There is absolutely no downside. You definitely want engagement in your group. Okay, so the first thing, I'm going to give you tons of ideas in this session as to the types of posts that you can create in your group that will help to get engagement going. So that's going to be the bulk of today's session. But before we get into that, I wanted to cover perhaps the most important element, and again, something which people often overlook. If you don't have the right audience, you are not going to get engagement. Okay, so you could have a group of 40,000 people and it be absolutely dead because they're the wrong people. Okay, and that is why, and I keep banging on about this, but that exercise that we did on day one about working out who your group is for and what your group is going to help those people with, and getting as specific as possible on that. That is one of the reasons, just one of the many reasons, why it's so important to do that. Because if your messaging around your group is vague, and you're not too clear on who your group is for, or you're trying to market your group to everyone, then you will have a bit of everyone inside your group. And it's then very difficult to get them talking because there's no commonality, there's no connection, bringing that group together into a community. Does that make sense? So when you have a group that is full of people who, hey Beth, hey Geeta as well, nice to see you here. When you have a group full of people who all have, the same things in common. So, for example, in my group, Fully Booked Mums, it's all, it's all mums. It's all mums with businesses. It's all mums with service-based businesses. Immediately then there is a common talking point. There's common shared experiences that people can laugh about, that people can rant about, that people can support each other with. So immediately you have more reason for people to engage with each other. So it's really, 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 really important that you are super clear on who your group is for, and that when you are messaging, when you are promoting your group, you make that super clear. And that is why we focused on that in your pitch. That's why you looked at your cover image, looked at the name, looked at the way your group is set up, so that it is your ideal clients that you are attracting to your group. Because if you're attracting kind of random people who aren't your ideal clients, and if you're letting those people into your group, that is definitely going to have a negative impact on your engagement, and you don't want that. It is much more important to have a smaller number of really engaged ideal clients than a massive group of people who don't care and who never talk to each other or to you. So there we go, my first lecture over. So if you take anything away from this, the most important factor about to get engagement in your group is to fill your group with the right people. Okay, right, let's move on. It's worth also quickly noting about audience size. So while it's better to have a smaller group of engaged ideal clients, also, of course, you will find when your group is super small, there's a good chance, and this isn't a hard and fast rule, so it might not always be the case, but there's a good chance that engagement will be a bit lower in a super small group. And as the group grows into more of a community, then the engagement will get started. So don't lose faith, don't lose hope, don't lose heart if you're not getting buzzing engagement straight away. It will come, but you have to lead the way. You have to show the example. You have to be the one at to begin with, showing up, serving, and setting the tone of engagement in your group. Okay, so let's talk about types of post that you can create in your group that will help to get engagement going. Okay, so I've got a whole list of ideas for you here, so we shall go through them. The first one I want to talk about is one that you will have seen all over the place, and that is daily themes. Okay, so I have them in my group, like tons and tons of groups have them, so you know the kind of thing, and it will depend on what your niche is as to what these daily themes are. But you'll have like Monday goal setting. So for example, in my group we have Monday goal setting. I think Tuesday, I can't remember what order they're all in, but we have one day where we're sharing content, one day where we're sharing social stuff, one day where we're selling. So think about the types of themes that might work well for your audience, because you always want to be making it relevant to your audience. Think about the types of things that your audience want to be talking about, want to be sharing, perhaps. So I've got some examples for a few different niches. So let me just find my examples. Oh, I've cleverly... here we go. I've got them already, and then I must have closed the page down before I went live, which was super. Okay, so examples. So an example for if you're in the kind of health fitness space. So potentially Monday motivation. It's a cliche, it's cheesy, but it works. It's the reason that it's a cliche is because it's popular and because lots of people use it because it works. Okay, so something like Monday motivation, you might say something like, share your fitness goals for this week, let's keep each other accountable. Okay, Tuesday for health and fitness, tips, Tuesday tips. And you don't have to make it alliteration. I just love alliteration. I have, it hurts me not to have an alliterative daily theme. I do have a few now. I had to break it because it was getting silly, but I do have a slight addiction to alliteration. But yeah, so Tuesday tips. What weight loss strategies have worked for you? Share your tips. Super simple. Wednesday workouts. Share your favourite ways to get moving and stay in shape. Okay, so those are just a few ideas for if you're in the health and fitness industry. How about parent groups? Okay, so you might have Thankful Thursdays. Being a parent can be tough. Let's take a moment to focus on the positive. What are you thankful for this week? And that can apply to any niche, basically. Just twist it, just tweak it to make it right for your niche. Friday funnies. Kids are hilarious. What have your little ones done to make you laugh this week? Okay, so these are the kind of things that people love to share. You know, as a parent, you love to share funny stories about your kids. You know, you might ask people to share a picture of, you know, your kids doing something funny that they've done this week. People love to get involved with that. We love to talk about ourselves. We love to talk about the things that we're passionate about. So whatever group that you've created is based around something that all of your ideal clients are passionate about. That's the thing that they have in common. That's the thing, that's the reason that they joined your group. So get them talking about those things. And one of the reasons that these themes work, let me just flip back so I can, there we go. One of the reasons that these themes work is because it's predictable. Okay, so initially you might find there's just a little bit of engagement, but gradually your group members will get to know that, oh, it's Wednesday, this is when I get to, you know, share XYZ. And people will even like, you know, note it in their diaries and, you know, and keep a record so that they can come and check it out, especially, you know, for things like promotional posts and opportunities to actually, you know, businesses and stuff like that, which may not always be relevant for your niche, but that kind of stuff people will make a record so that they can come in and make sure that they post on that thread. I've had clients before when I've spoken about these posts who have had a bit of resistance to them because they felt a bit cheesy, a bit I don't know, like not the way they want to market, and I kind of get that. But the fact is they work, and I think, you know, if people like them, then I think it's more about you. It says something more about you if you feel weird about it. Does that make sense? So I would question if you do feel a bit weird about it and you're like, oh no, I don't like those types of posts. Just have a real step back and think why. Because if it's about you, don't, you know, damage your engagement just because you've got a weird thing. Other people do like these posts. That's and that's why they're so popular, because they work, and they get people talking. Okay, so that's daily themes. Give me a shout if you have any questions. Let's move on now to questions. Excellent segue there, Colette. So questions are another fantastic way to boost engagement, and it's super simple. It's so simple, and yet so many groups don't have these. And the reason that they work so well is, again, that we love to talk about ourselves. We love to be asked our opinion on something. We love the opportunity to imagine, to dream, to be inspired. So there's tons of ways that these types of questions, and I've got some more examples. But the key here is to remember that when you have a Facebook group, that Facebook group is not about you. And what happens in so many groups that I see is that every day the group owners going in and they're talking at people. Okay, and yes, you want to do a little bit of that because, you know, you want to set the tone, you want to make it clear that you are like the community leader, I guess. You want to use your group to build your own credibility. So there will be times when that's appropriate. But if that's all you do, you will not get engagement. Because when you're talking at someone, you're not asking them to talk back. You're not actually inviting engagement. You're just talking at people. So ask questions. So let's get some examples. Okay. And a huge benefit of asking questions as well, it's like a kind of side benefit, is that it's a great way to learn about your group members. It's a great way to get to know them better. And, you know, and as we've talked about a lot over this challenge, is that, you know, the better you know your ideal clients, the easier it is to market to them. Sorry, my phone keeps pinging at me. Emails coming through. The easier it is to market, the easier it is to create your content, to know what offers to create for people. So actually asking questions is super valuable because it not only engages your members, but it gives you some really, really insightful information that you can take and use in, you know, other parts of your business. Okay, so questions. What kind of questions could you be asking? So what if type questions work really well. So this is when you're asking your members to put themselves into some kind of like hypothetical situation and consider what they would do. So for example, what if, so in my group, I might say something like, imagine you just signed a new client and then they cancelled unexpectedly. What would you do? So that, you know, like basically getting people to kind of imagine what they would do to put themselves in a situation. It can be a really useful exercise for people. It can also, I mean, if you can make something, you can do something more aspirational, like imagine next month you earn 5k, you know, you earn your first 5k, you have your first 5k month. You know, what would you do to celebrate? You know, people, you know, that's a nice exercise. It's a nice little thing to imagine, and for people to then kind of go through that. Oh, how would I celebrate? God, that was, you know, that would feel amazing. People, you know, that's the kind of thing that people really like to get engaged with. So there's tons, you know, think of how that might work for your own particular niche. And if you're struggling, feel free, let us know in the comments and we can kind of brainstorm with you. So what if type questions work really well. Also, the next type of question that works really well is any question where you are asking people to share information about them. So any kind of question where you are asking, you know, tell me something about yourself. Not only does this work well because people love to talk about themselves, but also, sorry, I just noticed a load of dust on top of my camera. Distracted there. But also it helps people inside your group to also get to know each other. You know, you could ask people to share something about themselves, like, you know, something as simple as whereabouts do you live, and then people discover, oh, I live there too, whereabouts do you live? And then suddenly you've got little conversations happening, and people, because you don't just want people talking to you, you want people talking to each other. This is a community. And the more people are then kind of chatting to each other and getting to know each other, the more that boosts engagement again, and people come back to continue those conversations, and, you know, and feel more and more comfortable in a group where they feel like they know each other. So those types of questions work really, really well as well. So asking, you know, it could be just as simple as asking people to share facts about themselves, you know, like, where do you live? What time do you get up in the morning? You know, super simple facts, and they don't always have to be specifically related to your niche. I mean, it can just be an exercise in let's get to know each other. So it doesn't always have to be super specific to your niche. In fact, often it's nice to kind of every now and then, you know, broaden out and get people just chatting generally. Other things, you know, sharing stories about themselves. You know, tell us about a time when you had a great success, or tell us about a time when, you know, something went wrong but you overcame it. You know, that kind of stuff works really well. And also getting people to share pictures of themselves is brilliant, because, you know, we like to do that, and it's fun, and again, it helps people connect when you can see each other, when you can see each other's faces. People feel more connected with each other, so that works really well too. Another type of question that works really well is kind of opinions and polls. So getting people to tell you what they think about something. So that could be as simple as I could put in my group, you know, which you prefer, Facebook or Instagram. You know, as simple as that, but it'll get people responding, and it'll get people chatting, sharing their opinions, because we love to tell people our opinions. We love to kind of weigh in, because that's, you know, that's what humans do. Okay, let me just go back. See if we have any questions. No. Okay, excellent, good. Don't hesitate to ask if you do have any questions. And there we go. I ended my question section the way I started, by asking for questions. So the next type of post that works really well is the support post. So this is more of the, you know, coming in and giving support in the area that your group is for. So it's things like coming and doing quick tutorials. That could be a Facebook Live like this, or it could be a quick, you know, pre-recorded video. You know, anything where you're giving value, that helps to boost your credibility. It's what people are, you know, there for. They're there for support with whatever it is your group helps them with. So make sure that you are giving them some of that. The key is just not to make it all that. If you want engagement, you need to kind of mix in the other stuff as well. But if you are mixing, what you'll find is if all you're doing is going in and going, hey, here's how to do this, and here's 6 tips on this, you probably won't get much engagement. But if you are mixing it in with the kind of the questions, the conversation starters, the daily themes, and you've got people will then be used to engaging. It's almost like you kind of teaching people that it's okay to engage in this group by asking, by inviting them to share their opinions and share facts about themselves. And once they feel comfortable doing that, they're much more likely to do it in these types of situations where, where you're just kind of there giving them information. But if you only ever just come in and give information, you're probably not going to get much engagement there. I hope that makes sense. Okay. So other types of support type posts. So going and doing a Facebook Live, sharing some tips. It could be like just a written post, sharing a quick video. Also things like Q&As work really well, because then you're actually inviting questions. You're inviting people to ask for support, to ask questions. You can do that by posting beforehand, getting people to share questions, and then going live and giving your answers to the questions. So that can work really well. Offering people like feedback, share your so we did that in the challenge yesterday. Was it yesterday? Share your cover. Oh no, it's day 2, wasn't it? Share your cover, and we'll give you feedback. Those types of posts can work really well, and so people are getting support, but it's also inviting engagement. So asking, getting people to give feedback, or asking people, saying, do you want my feedback? Something that I did that used to work quite well was offering audits. So just kind of saying, right, today I'm going to give 10 free Facebook page audits. Comment if you'd like one, and then you would do a little video where you'd give people audits, and that can work quite well as well. So there's tons of ways you can give support. Let's move on to the next type of post. So the next type of post is personal. So this is where I'm going to completely contradict myself. So I've been banging on about how your group shouldn't be about you, it should be about your members. So now, in complete contradiction to that, I'm going to tell you to post personal posts in your group, to share personal information, personal stories. And the reason for that is because in order to feel a community, your members have to feel like they know you. They have to feel like they know a bit about who you are, a bit about why you do what you do, what your passions are, what your opinions are, what you stand for. And so if you never post anything about yourself, there's going to be always this kind of distance, this wall between you and your members. So this is one of those things where you don't want to be only posting about yourself, but you definitely want to be threading in a few personal posts, sharing a bit of personal stuff about yourself, so that people can feel more connected, so that people realise, that see a bit of themselves in you, and they feel more that you and they are part of the same community. So these are the types of connection posts. So thinking of, it's weird because even though you're posting about you, you're still going to make it about them. So you're not going to just post random stuff about yourself that they're not going to relate to. The trick is here is to think about things about yourself that your ideal customers will also relate to. So for me, in Fully Booked Mums, talking about being a mum. Yeah, I'm a mum. I know that all my members are also mums. So I can kind of do a personal post about, oh wow, my kids did this, or I really struggling with this with my kids right now, or one of the main reasons I started my business was because of my kids and because of mum guilt and wanting to be at home and be able to do the school runs, being able to go to the school plays, and that's something that I know the members in my group are going to relate to, because I know a lot of them will have been through the same thoughts and the same experiences. But if I was to go in and chat about I don't know, let me think, my passion for the French language. I studied French at university, and go on and on and on about French. There's going to be a lot of people in there going, so? What? Do you know what I mean? Because that's nothing to do with them. There may be some people in there who share that, but that's not why they're in the group. And so there's going to be an awful lot of people in there that probably don't and don't care about, the fact that I did French at university, because it's completely irrelevant. So when you were thinking about those personal posts, you're still making it about your ideal client. You're thinking of those connection points, those points in your life that are the same as the points in your member's life, and where you can kind of create that connection and that kind of, oh yeah, me too type moments. All right. Okay. What's next? Fun. So at the end of the day, one of the main reasons, I'm absolutely boiling, so I'm just going to have to open my window. I normally close it because it can get a bit noisy outside with cars and stuff. But um, one of the main reasons that people go on Facebook isn't for business, it's for fun. It's to have a bit of light entertainment, perhaps while they're waiting for the bus or they're waiting for the kettle to boil, or whatever it may be. I'm just going to quickly scroll through Facebook. So if you can create posts that actually are fun, and a bit of entertainment, then that's going to get engagement too, because that's one of the main reasons that we're on social media, is to have a bit of fun. So ideas for fun, we see them all the time. The kind of share a gif to tell us what you're doing this weekend. Any kind of gif type stuff is always a good laugh. We all like to see new gifs. Maybe we don't all. I certainly do. I am a gifaholic. I love looking at gifs and discovering new gifs. So if there's a gift post to be had, I can't say no. I have to dive in there. So any kind of gift posts always work well. Memes, relatable memes, the type of stuff that you might put on your Facebook page. Again, the occasional one in your group, just to get people laughing, to get people kind of going, oh yeah, that's so me. That type of stuff. Again, making sure that it's relatable to your members, something that you all can have a laugh about, that you all recognise as something that you've all been through. Games. So I did a fab one a while ago in my group. I'm talking like a year or two ago now. Which was just playing an alphabet game. It was like a Friday afternoon, and I was like, let's have some fun. Let's go through the alphabet and name something related to your business or something like that. It was something, and we got right the way through to Z, and everyone was diving in and coming up with ideas, and it worked really well. It's just a fun game. It's it doesn't really serve any purpose. It's not teaching people anything, but it's fun. And sometimes it's nice for people to just get together and have some fun. So have a think about what kind of fun posts you can create for your group. The next one, the last one now, is recognition. So we all love to be singled out and recognised in some way. And there's various ways that you can do this in your group. So the most common way is a welcome post, and you'll see this in most groups right now. In fact, Facebook even gives you the functionality to tag the people who've joined in the last week, so that you can create a welcome post. I would absolutely make the most of that, because even if people ignore it, not everyone will. Some people like it. It's a nice first impression to create when you first go into a group, to have someone go, hey, welcome, really nice to have you here. It's an opportunity for you to set the tone. It's an opportunity for you to just let people know, about the things that are going on in your group that they should keep an eye out for. And if you are super sneaky, now I did this for a while and I keep meaning to start it again, but I haven't. But I think this is a fab idea. If you are asking, so we talked in yesterday's training about the joining questions, and I was saying how one of the questions that I ask is, what is your biggest challenge with getting clients for me, but with whatever your niche is right now. Now, if you are asking that question, then your welcome post, and this depends on how many people you're getting in, but while you're still getting just a few people in, at a time, or welcoming a few people at a time, your welcome post can be a fantastic opportunity to immediately wow people and give extra value, because you can take what their challenge is and you can give them some personal support with that challenge. So for me, I used to link to blog posts, because I've got like literally nearly 100 blog posts on my blog that covers pretty much every topic that you can think of when it comes to growing a business. And so pretty much any challenge that people talk about, I have a blog post that can help with that. So what I would do is I would go, hey, welcome, Janet. You mentioned that you are, that you're looking for information on, building an email list. I've got this great blog post that you might find helpful. So that's one way to give a little bit of extra wow factor to your welcome type post. Okay. Other recognition posts. So another one that I used to do, which I am potentially bringing back at some point, because again it worked quite well, was member of the month. And you could do this member of the week, member of the month, whatever. So in your Facebook group insights, you can see who your 10 most engaged members are. And so what I used to do is each month I would look, and the top engaged person, I would write a post and thank them and just say, you're this month's member of the month. Thank you so much for your support. What I actually used to do is when my membership was open, and it's going to be open again soon, by the way, was I would give them a free month's trial to the membership as a sort of thank you for their participation and their support in the group. And that was a really fun way, because not only did that in itself get engagement, because people would be like, hey, well done, that's great, blah, blah, but also people would be like, oh right, okay, so if I engage in this group, I might get singled out, I might get thanked, I might get a free month's membership, and so people would engage a little bit more. So that's a fun way to do it as well. And my final example is anniversaries. And by anniversaries, I mean anniversary of joining the group. So I haven't seen this done anywhere else. And it's a bit of a faff, but I used to do it, and it did used to work quite well. And it was quite a fun way to reawaken members who hadn't been active in the group for a while. So what I would do is I have a spreadsheet, as I mentioned in yesterday's training, where I basically record all the information for all my members. So when they join, I'll say they joined on this date, and this was their challenge, and so on. But actually, you don't even need to do that, because if you go into your insights again and look at your members, it tells you the date that they joined. So you can literally go and go, okay, anyone who joined in this week last year, and obviously this only works if your group has been going for a year or more, but I'm going to go, hey, happy, I think I used to call it groupiversary or something like that. Happy groupiversary, you've been in this group for a year, thanks so much for your continued support. And I would just tag people. And what that would do is, again, get a bit of engagement going. People would be going, oh, happy groupiversary, girl, that's, congratulations. But also people who might not have been engaging for a while suddenly are tagged back into the group. And it's a chance for me to kind of get their attention again, and kind of bring them back into the fold. So that one can work really well as well. So those are all my suggestions, all my ideas for inspiration. I hope you found them helpful. I hope you've had some light bulb moments. Oops, my door's blowing open, because I've opened the window. Let me know if you're going to try any of these. I would love to know, and let me know how they go and if they work. Before I go, there's one more thing on group engagement. So I started by saying the importance of the audience and making sure that your audience are full of ideal clients. I'm going to end by saying consistency. So that's also important. When you're going to do these things, if you want engagement in your group, show up consistently. You have to set the tone. You have to be the one to lead the way, because if you're not engaging consistently, you cannot expect your group members to do the same, to engage consistently themselves. So show up every day, even when no one else is talking to you, even when you feel like you're just going in and posting in an empty room and no one's ever replying. They will. Show up consistently, try new things, experiment with different types of posts. And people will start to engage, they will start to join in the conversation, but you have to lead the way, and you have to do it consistently. So I will leave you with that thought. I will check for questions. Love the groupiversary idea. Yeah, it's super fun. As I say, I stopped doing it, but I have been thinking about starting again, so watch this space. Well, not this space, but fully got mum's space. Okay, so before I go, tomorrow is our final day. So if you are behind, don't panic. The group will be staying open for another week. And there will also be an opportunity to continue this journey, which I will be sharing with you tomorrow. I'm very excited to tell you all about it. So I shall see you tomorrow for our training, which will be at the earlier time of 9 a.m. So tomorrow's live training will be 9 a.m., not 10 a.m. So hopefully see you all there. Mwah! Have a wonderful afternoon. Take care, everyone.